All right, so now we are live. So hello and welcome everyone to Marie's table, as we know, but kind of co-hosted by the three of us. And Marie, I'm sure you're watching. I hope you're watching. So first of all, we just want to say a little prayer for Marie and her husband. As we know, a very, very challenging time for Marie right now. So we just wish, hoping for that miracle and just hoping that Marie will be good going forward in the future and that she has all the help and support that she needs, regardless of what happens. And we'll have to see how things go at this difficult time. So I just wanted to say that. And again, thank you so much, Marie, as well, for allowing us to host for you. We know that you will be back the second you've got stable internet. It is here, ready and waiting for you. So this is just a guardianship. And but just to introduce everyone, of course, we have Diane's Tarot, of course, who we know. And of course, we have Lady G, formerly known as Ganga, who is also with us today. And I can see there are so many people in the chat already before we even started. Oh, wow. Sensational. And so I do have questions. Some questions are a carryover from last week, and we will try and get through them. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We may be able to do the 6, depending on how quick we are. And I think one of the things that we should do, that we should look into without further ado, is the situation in Haiti. What do you think about that? I mean, that is just
unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable.
You know what I picked up is that this has like such an international flavor to me, even from the perspective of the Haitians. This doesn't feel like it's just 1 or 2 countries. I feel like this is like 4 countries, and I'm hearing different accents like Spanish and French Creole and English.
Wow.
There's something deeper with this. It's not just what's on the surface. And there's somebody financially backing it.
It seems, and I understand apparently there were mercenaries involved. From what I knew, I mean, I know apparently the guy wasn't very popular and he lost and he wouldn't go or something like that. But assassination this is huge. Yeah, that is a really big thing. Oh, what? We got the wife as well?
She's in critical condition.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was shot 3 times in the back.
Oh my.
I heard that from Ronald. He's got somebody that's Haitian that's doing all the funeral parlors down in Florida, and he had this skinny on it. She was shot in the back 3 times.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I mean, the world is just going crazy. So while the ladies are shuffling, we have Linda Bishop, we have Sharon Donnelly, Shanna Lynn Skinner and Connie Brown, Jean Rogers, Laura Carlson and Charles Carey. So thanks everyone for joining us. The numbers are ticking up. We are currently at 248 and soon I hope we can join by more. So let's see. Hey, Diane, how about you go first? Are you ready to go? Then
I am ready.
All right, let's go for it.
So I think it's kind of obvious, right? We start off with the tower. This was a huge tower moment. There was upheaval. There was chaos. This was negative. But once again, this tower maybe could have withstood the lightning bolt if it was on a solid foundation. Haiti's government is not on a solid foundation, is it? And so, so that happened. The obstacle, well, this is the card of like joy and celebrating with friends. And so I would say the mood of the country must be somber. There's probably a lot of grief, a lot of fear. People, I'm sure, are scared. I heard somebody over there mentioning martial law. So this has to be a scary time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. See, they did catch, 2 of them in the U.S., and this is my card for the U.S.
Wow.
So there is some involvement from, at least 2 of our people. But I think there's also better times ahead because this is also the card of abundance and fertility. followed by the card of a fertile new beginning. So even though this is really awful and we start off with this energy, this leaves room for hope. So I think that even though this is really tragic and stunning, that they actually are in for better times, I think.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, Lady G, what did you get?
Well, I did a reading earlier today on it, and what I had got in that reading, I'll just go through real quick, that this was a planned thing. It was funded by wealthy people. That again, it was funded by that. They hired the mercenaries and things to come in, and they're hoping to get more aid from Biden and stuff. Economic things is what they were hoping for. And what I got just right now was, again, in the center, want to make a huge change, stronger thing. They wanted to get rid of this guy. Above it, we have a lot of secrets. So that plays into the same thing. Underneath of it, we have the mercenaries going in. These were people of strength that did this, and it was, definitely a hit, and a lot of loss for the people. Yeah, they're just freaking out. They heard that maybe, and the other thing was they wanted to stop this government.
Yeah.
The people there heard that maybe the U.S. would let them in, and they were all going storming the embassy.
Really?
To try to get in. Yeah, they had that. I don't think the U.S. is letting them in, but they had that, they heard through the grapevine, the U.S. will let you in, and they're all storming the embassy to get out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's scary up there now.
Hellish. Looks hellish. So I want to say thank you so much, Crafty Diva, for your donation, which I can see that's just flagged up there. So thank you so much for that. So mine is, I've got a slightly different thing going on here. So what I've got for my sort of like signifier card, if we look here, I've got the Magician. Yeah, got the Magician. And of course, what is the Magician about? It is a card of power, a card of manifestation, feeling in control. So could this maybe have reflected the deceased, the attitude of the deceased president, perhaps? And when I look here, when I see, because we know this is in the context, so if, I'm just going to take this as the president before he passed, because he did seem that he was, at the very least, enjoying some kind of notoriety or power. But then when we look here, we've got the Two of Pentacles as the obstacles. So for me, of course, that talks about money. This can talk about the security. So it suggests that there's the background of this may have been corruption. When I think of it, that makes me think of corruption. Yeah, because it's coming up as the obstacle card. And as we can see here, the Queen is looking at that card intently, as if to say, I don't want to drop this. And apparently this president was quite unpopular. So, but it seems maybe the power behind the throne was a bit more worried about this person. And then the next card that I get here is, of course, the Two of Cups, which is all about contracts, partnerships, marriage. So again, could this have been a contract killing, perhaps? Yeah, if we take that quite literally. And then we get the Page of Wands, but in reverse. So the Page of Wands is, of course, it's all about messages, isn't it? The pages, and the pages tend to be young people in particular. And here, this is sort of like the young student, but it's kind of reversed. So it suggests it's almost maybe young mercenaries are being blamed for the attack. Yeah. Because I remember they were just scrabbling around looking for them. And I know there have been some shootings, and they do seem to be quite young. And then when we look here, if we look at the outcome card, look at that, the Knight of Swords charging forward with violence. Yeah, because obviously there was the assassination, and I think a day or two after, these mercenaries apparently were also shot. I don't know how many are left, but we can see it's led to this very kind of violent, unstable situation here. So I mean, there is one more card where I see here we've got the Ace of Cups. I mean, we can hope that leads to a renewal, but at the very least it's very emotional at that time. What do you reckon? Yeah, at this time.
Yeah, what was interesting as well was there was a woman that lives there that came on and says, you know, the police can't ever solve anything. And now within how many hours they've got them all rounded up.
Oh,
So kind of fishy with that.
Scapegoats, do you think? Some people may
scapegoats. Could be. Some of them
little too convenient.
Yeah, it was very convenient.
Yeah.
Very, very convenient. Okay, so if we move on to the next question. Now, this is quite a juicy one. And I was just reflecting on this the other day. And I think we should have a read on the influence of Rupert Murdoch. Yeah? And his sons. Now, for those that may be unfamiliar with Rupert Murdoch is one of the most, probably the most powerful media mogul on planet Earth. He is currently 90 years old, and he is married to the Texan former supermodel Jerry Hall. Yeah, so she went from Mick Jagger to Rupert Murdoch. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a step down.
Really?
Gang is astonished. I've given you some news. Can you believe it? From Mick Jagger to Rupert Murdoch. It must be the power. I mean, what else? I mean, it's certainly not. Wow. It's certainly not the looks. I mean, the guy looks like a sausage that's been overcooked in an oven and left out to dry somewhere. But you know, he's extremely powerful. Now, what Rupert Murdoch is known for is his influence over the right-wing media. So he's influenced Australian politics, British politics, and some part of other parts of Europe, but also mainly American politics. And he is known as the owner of Fox News. Yeah. Yeah. And Fox News. So this guy's had a huge impact, and he's also a climate change denier to the extent there was news yesterday that he will be launching his own weather channel, which will counter the stuff that's been in the news, because of course what's been happening, you know, people in Canada have been able to fry eggs on their bonnets, and we've had towns spontaneously combusting. So he wants to stop all that. So how about Lady G, are you ready to go, or shall Diane go if she's ready?
I can go.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah. So my cards are so bad.
Surprise.
Okay. So here's the card that represents him.
There you go.
Here he is, the devil, doing his fiendish, devilish thing. You know, I think he likes being an agent of chaos. He likes the power and the control in such a negative way, which really, you know, enslaves the people that listen to this nonsense, right? There's brainwashing going on. And, you know, the people, instead of freeing themselves from the devil, they start to identify with the devil, and they begin to grow horns and tails themselves. And that's, I think, what we're starting to see. His obstacle, he doesn't know when to go. He doesn't know when to leave.
Yeah. Holding on to power.
Right. He enjoys it. But, you know, there's truth coming out. So I'm not sure what this means, because I'm not seeing a courtroom quite yet. But I think maybe what I'm getting is something to do with Fox News. I think they are going to be held accountable for some of the roles that they have played, you know, with COVID, with the insurrection, the big lie. But, you know, he is quite elderly, and because I know the other meaning of this card is transition and transformation, no, I don't think he's going to have a big epiphany and renounce his devilish ways. I think maybe he's not in the best of health, and he may not it may be too much for him, everything that's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, Lady G, what did you?
Okay. Well, the Lenormand says, you know,
What did you get?
something new is coming out of the darkness. Some new things that will be talked about. So what I get from him in the center, he likes to cause waves. You know, puts out these messages to those that'll listen to influence their paths, where they're going, what they're doing, all of that drama. Above it, his, you know, the nostalgia thing that they do. But the foundation is things are going to be coming up. Court things are going to be coming up that have to do with his influencing of government and all of this stuff that's going on. So new light will be shed on that. So information is going to come out, the way that they've manipulated things and manipulated people.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. And someone called Aspie Third Eye said, Fox weather, really? So in other words, no tornado warnings when people need them. Okay. Yeah.
It's so disturbing.
I know, it's just
how can you
astonishing.
politicize the weather? You can't politicize the weather. What are they doing? The weather's the weather. I don't get it.
Exactly. So it's going to be, I mean, what's the newscaster going to be like? Oh, here we are. We've got a storm cloud coming in from Antifa, everyone. Buckle down. Antifa storm coming, you know. Oh, my God. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, Lord.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It wasn't really a tornado. It was just a small gust of wind. It was just a little breeze that came through.
Alternative facts.
Exactly. Alternative facts. I mean, we're going to have exactly. So any kind of tragedy associated with the weather, it's going to be the Democrats' fault. So outrageous. So here we go. So, I mean, what next?
So weird.
So when we look here, we have got the Eight of Wands, but it is reversed. So, of course, when the card is the right way up, this is things charging forward, coming forward at a pace. So in terms of Rupert Murdoch, will he be held to account? Probably not for now. Yeah, probably not for now, because he is he is one of the true mogul manipulators of the media. He truly is a Svengali in an almost kind of James Bond baddie kind of way. I thought I just saw someone donate something there, but maybe I missed it. And anyway, so will he be held account immediately in the near future? I would say most probably not. I mean, there can be more associations with these cards, but we're thinking about terms of justice and like what's happening in the here and now. So I'd say not yet. And if we look, what is it about? The partnerships, the dealings, the manipulation. There is a really good documentary on the BBC, which was a three-part miniseries about Rupert Murdoch, and his influence, I can say at least for British politics, was huge. He could make or break prime ministers. Yeah. And he's done it so often that they even said they said they've never seen Trump so in a, you know, when he met Rupert Murdoch, he was like, and Rupert had to decide on him, you know, because he wasn't for Trump. And then at the last minute, he was like, you know what? All right, I'll give him a go. And he got into power. That's how powerful this guy is. And that is shown by what? The Emperor card. There we are. But in this case, it is true. When we see this card come up for Trump, this is how Trump feels or wants to believe what he is. Yeah. With Rupert Murdoch, this really is true. We are dealing with someone who is an emperor of the media here and has huge influence and power, not only in news cycles, but in nations. But I think we're going to find out. I think there's something about the model that's not quite bringing in the money for him in some shape or form. Maybe this is why he's turning to the weather now. Maybe he sees more money in weathers. You know, he can be more political with that. And then we can see there's been a lot of thought about this, a lot of wrangling about this. I mean, this is a sort of a more reflective aspect, but it's still not the most positive card. So I think he's been losing sleep, shall we say, literally over these weather stories, because he's a climate change denier. We've just literally had a town in Canada combust into flames. We've had record temperatures, and I think I think he's panicking because the truth is obviously coming out. Why else would he want a weather channel? So extraordinary.
I mean, this summer in New England, it's been hotter than Cambodia. Sometimes I go to where I used to live in Phnom Penh, and I'm like, I mean, our houses are not equipped for this, right? We're not equipped for this. And even our humidity is higher than Cambodia, which is a jungle. So, I mean, you can't say nothing is going on. And when I lived over there, you know, when they say that it's really tough when the government takes their land, as like an American, we don't really get it because they have worked that same piece of land for over 1,000 years. And all they know is how to grow that one crop on that one piece of land. But now what's happening is, because of climate change, they're having real drought. So here they are in a very wet climate and they're experiencing drought. There's no economic relief over there. And so they're simply dying.
Oh my God.
You know, I mean, so you can't, I mean, being in Cambodia was such an eye opener, and even being here in New England, you know, we are not used to this extreme heat and humidity all the time like this.
Indeed. And I just want to say thank you for some of these donations. This is extraordinary. Thank you so much. I mean, now they're getting drought in Cambodia. I mean, it's
and it's so severe that it's drying up the rice paddies. And you know, that's what sustains them.
That's the main
it's hurting
food
their crops. It is.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having a tough go at it for sure.
My goodness. Well, we have to see. So the next question is an American question. And this was, I wasn't able to call this one out last week because we ran out of time. So I've just carried it over. So this is from Edwina Stevens. And she is asking, will manufacturing return to America, or will we rebuild ourselves with our allies? That's a good question, isn't it? I think that's a cracker. Manufacturing, USA. I mean, Rupert Murdoch on the weather, my goodness. A glacier has just been discovered in Florida. You know, it's just it's going to be completely crazy. Okay, manufacturing in America. Will manufacturing return, or will it be combined with allies? Okay. Manufacturing. Okay. This one. All right. Are you ready, Diane?
I am just trying to figure out what the heck these cards mean. This is kind of complicated. I mean, we start off on a real high note. You know, the card like peace, love, and happiness, which makes me think, okay, there's certainly potential, but then look at what our obstacle is. Forming relationships and partnerships, having contracts with other countries. So I don't know. Looking at this, I don't know, because then, you know, my next card is we're going to try to come up with a plan and a strategy. We're going to try to figure things out. It's very fluid at the moment. But then I get my card for the U.S. again. So I would say I don't really see us partnering up with other countries for manufacturing purposes. I would say that we're going to do things more alone.
Right. Very interesting. Lady G, what do you have?
What I got is Lenormand is saying, you know, this information is kind of coming out. It's a little hidden, but it's a roll of the dice. Okay. It's a roll of the dice. So, and we're in the midst of a shakeup. Yeah.
That sounds about
so
right.
it's like at this point, it could go either way.
Either way.
It's fluid.
We have the wheel is turning. The challenge is temperance, balance to get this above it. We have, working with others. The foundation of it is we're out in the cold. Going into it, this is something that they are having to
struggle. Really struggling.
And going forward, hopefully there is hope. There is hope that there is hope that that things will work out. But it's really looks like it's really tenuous at the moment.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Agreed.
Yeah. My cards are a little they're quite interesting as well, a bit more simple, but I've got some reversals in here. So if we think of the King of Cups, when it's the right way up, we all know who is this about? Mr. Joe Biden. But
you know what, this whole time I keep seeing Kamala Harris, so I am wondering if it's not going to happen in his presidency, but while she's president.
Maybe.
That would make sense, because I kept seeing her and I didn't know what I was getting.
How interesting, because here, as we see, normally is the right way up. And this is the first time when I read on America, and Biden is upside down. Biden's flipped. So and then when we look at the second card, so really I'm going to read these two together. Look what we get as the obstacle. Look, it's the card, the king of what? Entrepreneurship. Business. So what this suggests to me is Biden is of course interested in these things, but I don't think he's got the power to bring the manufacturing back. I think it's kind of elapsed too much.
I think it's maybe too early for that. We're just trying to get the economy back on
exactly.
So maybe it's too early.
Exactly. But either way, even if he tried, I don't think Biden can do it right now. He's got too much on his plate. And then when I also look at the next card, look, we have the Knight of Pentacles, but again, reversed.
Yeah.
It's not in, if we think he's Pentacles are all about earth. So we know this is about tangible things, structure, material results, going forward steadfastly to a goal. And that is in a halt. And I think it's because of just the current situation right now. If we think of COVID, trying to get the economy back up and running, it's just nothing's moving forward with any pace. However, there are some big choices to be made. There really is. Like America really, because obviously we know under the Trump administration, it was a desert for 4 years and he just basically just sabotaged all international trade and stuff. Biden, as we know, is trying to rectify that. But I think the stakes are actually quite a lot higher than they seem. I think, Trump has done a lot of damage, because when I look at the outcome card, it is the victory card, but look, it is reversed. So when this card is the right way up, we know it's about riding into town on the back of success. So imagine if the cards were up, we'd be like, great, we got this to look forward to, but it's reversed. And this can sometimes suggest falling from a great height. And so really, when we look here, I think quite a lot of damage has been done. Hopefully this card can be turned around, but certainly right now, I don't see any immediate manufacturing coming back to the USA in any kind of meaningful way for now. I think the ship has sailed.
It doesn't look to be that in any of the cards. None of us are having that at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't seem to be quite there. So that was the America card. Now, okay, this is another one. The Vatican. I forgot who asked the question, but shall we go there?
What was the question?
Basically, what's the situation with the Vatican?
With the Vatican.
Because there's been, they were gonna, weren't some of them going to excommunicate Biden? Do you remember that story?
Oh,
yeah.
But I don't think it was the Vatican. That was
I think it's more
the
local.
lower level.
Oh, was it?
Local things
Was
were
it?
going to say, we're not going to give you communion. But it wasn't coming directly from the Vatican.
Oh, okay. It wasn't directly from the Vatican. Maybe that's not as relevant then. Oh, unless we could. How about then? Shall we look a bit then at the Christian far right in America and what's going on with that? Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is a whole load of cray.
It's a whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah, and I'm quite worried about that actually, because they're coming out with some really weird stuff now. Really, really weird stuff. So okay, let's
creepy.
Yeah, really creepy.
Does it spill over into England, or does it just stay here? Do you guys get some of that?
You're on your own on this one.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, maybe we can help with that then. We'll send them over.
We've got all the crazies over here.
I mean, on the Richter scale of what happens in America, you know, it's Britain is like Monty Python. You know, I did a Brit special the other day. Do you know what I mean? It's so tame by comparison. Do you know what I mean? Where, you know, not that we're not dealing with stuff, but it's not at this kind of democracy under threat. We're not having arguments like this in the UK. Do you know what I mean? It's just beyond even our comprehension that America is where it is now. It's just astonishing. All right. So the Christian far right. Are you ready to go then, Diane?
Yes.
Right.
So right now they're pretty happy. You know, this is the part of like celebrating a milestone, having a happy home, and you know. So yeah, I think right now they're feeling pretty good. Their obstacle is grief, sorrow, and loss. So that's, I think, upcoming. I don't, you know, in terms of us with ascension, going towards fourth density, what I've always seen with the religions that are going to persevere are the ones that are in service to others. So it'll be the churches that have the homeless shelters, the food pantries, the soup kitchens, that do the winter coat drives. Those will be the ones that survive, not the ones that are service to self. But you know, they're going to try to persevere for quite some time. They're not going to give up. Crazy. Money and children, which I just don't like seeing.
Wow.
So yeah, I think there's always been a bit more going on.
Ooh, what did I press?
Oh, you can put comments on the screen. Hi, Warrior Girl. She's one of my members.
Wow, Warrior Girl. Hello. Thank you. What did I do?
But then, you know, everything kind of stops for them. So they start off with a real great energy, but then they kind of get hung up in their old ways and they can't really do much, which I think leaves them with stress, worry, and anxiety, sleepless nights, followed by heartbreak and heartache. So they're not going anywhere today or tomorrow. But yeah, I think as we're going towards fourth density, they're going to peter out. Yeah.
So, Lady G, what do you have?
Yes. Oh, you mean the evil angel crowd? That's what I call them, the evangelicals, right in their name, following the evil angels. So what can you say about that? You know, they want the new government is what it is. You know, they want to try to bring on the apocalypse, et cetera, et cetera. And they are buffaloing the Republican people by an abuse of power. Okay, abuse of power. Above it, they don't want to see the truth. You know, how can you put up, you know, Trump on a pedestal when he's a liar? And who is the king of liars? Satan, you know, the father of lies. And so he is a proponent right there. And so underneath of it, waiting for them is judgment. Judgment is not a good thing for them. They think they're going to get ahead, but no, that door is closed. For opportunity going forward, it's closed. And again, you know, judgment and truth is waiting for them on the other side. It is Yeah, they're going to get to the other side, and they're going to be waiting and think Jesus is going to say, "Oh, come in." He'll say, "I never knew you. Who are you? I don't know you."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be any of them.
Yeah. Well, I've got some interesting cards. So the card that I have that has come up, and we've now been joined by 780 people, by the way, are watching this now live. So again, thank you everyone for being with us. And just in case you weren't here at the beginning, we were sending prayers out to Marie's husband at this very difficult time. So and again, so for those that are just joining in, please put in your prayers. So we are answering the question, and we are talking about the evangelical, the they hailed sort of crowd, yeah, with, and, donate, all that kind of stuff, driving limousines. So when we look at the signifier card, look, we've got the Four of Swords, but we've got it reversed. So what this says to me is that it's kind of like they see what's going on, but it's like they're laying down and watching, yeah? Watching to see, will Duck Larange go to jail or not? Because there's this extraordinarily surreal thing happening in America right now, where there are essentially two realities.
Right.
The evil angels, as Lady G would say, they understand that it's a falsehood. Yeah. So this is almost them being in bed, but they're trying to be careful, because it's like they can't do too cray, because if they get out, then of course they could get stabbed by the situation. Do you know what I mean? If Trump goes down. Now, what is their obstacle? The obstacle is the Queen of Wands. So what this would suggest is intelligent women in particular, possibly entrepreneurs, yeah, will not be buying this. There is some people that they've bought into, but those that are intelligent and intuitive, because if we look here, we see the black cat here, which is speaking about the intuitive element of this card. And this all can also represent men as well. It's not necessarily gender specific, but basically those that are entrepreneurial and intelligent are basically looking at this and going, not so sure. They could, especially if Trump is kind of punished or loses his money, they could find themselves in for a battle. There could be some pushback here, because that narrative, once it's official that he's not a billionaire, which he clearly isn't, because he's got more debts than assets. That's just, so that's basically mean broke, yeah, because you're in the red. Then they may have to change their stance, and they may find that they're getting a bit more challenged. And then when we see, look, the Wheel of Fortune, but it's reversed. So it suggests maybe their fortunes are changing, but I think it does rely on Trump. And if that is the case, if things do go a little bit belly up, then they may be asking themselves, was it worth all the evangelizing? Yeah, was it worth putting all that energy into something that they already knew was a lie? So I think they are kind of crowing like we're really confident, but I think they are very closely watching what is happening with Trump. And I think if Trump is bankrupted or he loses his money, I feel like it will be a similar fate for them.
Yeah, maybe they'll wake up to false prophets finally.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see how we're doing on time. We are now up to, we're 806 attendees. This is extraordinary. All right, but we still got time. So this is a really good question here, and this has come from Meg H. So, and what she's been asking is, will there be more lockdowns in the US, in the USA and the UK as the new variant runs wild? Good question. Good question. All right, let's have a little shuffle this here. Will there be more lockdowns as the variant runs wild?
You know who I feel bad for? The Japanese. You know, they've had such a slow rollout of the vaccine. Only 16.9% of them are vaccinated.
Wow.
They've declared a state of emergency and they're having the Olympics anyways. You know,
I just a state of emergency.
Yes, my heart just goes out to those poor Japanese people who are unvaccinated. All these foreigners are coming in. It's all about money, but it's going to cost lives.
Yeah,
I certainly do worry about them.
Yeah, it's the money, because the thing is that the trouble is with these Olympic things, they are such financial juggernauts, and all the money, of course, is paid forward. Yeah, you're given the money in advance, and then you're given 4 years to prepare. So they literally, if they don't have the games, they're not going to see a return on that investment, and it will cost them a lot. It doesn't condone it, but it's almost an impossible situation to be in. Almost impossible. So what is that? What were we on about? That's it. Will there be more lockdowns? That was it. Lockdown. Actually, I wasn't. Let me just no.
So my cards are really interesting. They certainly have a theme going on. So we first get the card of perseverance. So we're going to keep trying to put one foot in front of the other, not do it. We're going to try to do our best to prevent it. Our obstacle, well, here's the smug merchant. We're not going to be feeling quite as happy and content. I think our businesses are going to be harmed again.
Yeah.
But look at this. I got every card about being indecisive that you can get. So I get the 7 of Cups. Not making a decision while you're grounded. The things inside of these cups are not real. There's castles, fairies, baubles. And then the 4 of Cups, the card of apathetically making a decision. He doesn't like this cup. One comes out of the sky, still doesn't like it. Being at a crossroads and having to make a decision. So this tells me, okay, we're going to have to make a decision. It's going to leave us feeling burdened and oppressed, I think, either way, and have us longing for a simpler time. Making us feel sort of nostalgic and reminiscing of the past. So I would say from my cards, it's certainly not decided yet.
Right. Lady G, what did you get?
Well, what I got is things are kind of hidden at the moment. Looking for the best opportunity. What's the best way forward? The challenge is the stance. Taking a stance again, because above it, people are feeling tied up. Below it, another tower moment. I think they're feeling that it would be to do another lockdown would be another tower moment. So again, we're looking at, and I think this has to do again with like the merchants and stuff, people wanting to take charge. And we still have, I think, investigations, more information coming out. And you know how well they wanted to listen to the CDC last time.
Right. Yeah.
So the same thing. I think they're going to be balking at what the CDC is saying and just going, no, we want to keep things open.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have to see. I just thought I'll click and just show some people some comments. So Time to Shine says, in regards to Rupert Murdoch, he's still influencing Australia's politics. His son has come back to Australia to cause a divide.
No.
So that's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then someone's saying, what is this? Jerry Hall. Where is it? Oh, no. I think I've got oh, God, what am I doing here? Oh, the technology. Jerry Hall. That was a mind-boggling marriage, someone is saying. Right. Okay. So in regards to lockdowns, in the UK, but also as well if we think about the USA. So the first card I get is this. Look at that. I get the Fool. Yeah, Major Arcana, and as we know, this is essentially card 0, isn't it? It is the beginning of the journey. But if we look closely, we see the Fool is about to what? go off a cliff. I'm a little bit worried about that. I think the symbology kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are we potentially going off a cliff with all of this opening up and all the various different things? We'll have to see. So I have to rely on the second card to give information. And look, this time we see our business lady back again.
Right.
But look, she's reversed. Yeah. So when we look at this, going off a cliff, and then a reverse of business, it suggests. Then we've got the 8 of Wands, which we know is about moving forward. Again, it's reversed.
Yeah, reversed.
So we're starting to see a little pattern emerging here, because they also share the same element. It's Wands again, which is about what? Inspiration, fire, passion, moving forward. And this is looking like a literal reversal. Why? When we look here, we have the 7 of Swords. So we could yeah. Shall we know this is so often comes up as the Russia card, but in the context of the virus, this could be very much speaking about the virus, couldn't it? This kind of sneaking around in the shadows. So it's almost, do you know what I want to say? Because of the vaccines, I'm going to say this, I've just got this as a download. Because of the vaccines, we think we've got away with it, but maybe we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's reversed. And the government may have to step in at some point. Here's the government. Oh, we're at 900, just over 900 people now, but here we are, 905. And so here we are. Maybe the government is going to have to step in. So I would say with that collection, it is looking like maybe there could be maybe August, September, because we know the red states in particular, but they're also talking about another variant here in the UK, another one.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, which is apparently from Peru. I can't remember what it's called now. Lambda or something, Lambda variant or something like that.
My gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they worry it may be able to go around the vaccines. So I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'll just lay down in the middle of the road, just eat a ton of ice cream. Yeah, eat a ton of ice cream and just be like, come on, run me over.
Vietnam had a variant too that like everyone just kind of stopped talking about, because Southeast Asia was having a problem with the Vietnam variant.
Wow.
So.
Wow. It's just astonishing, isn't it? So this is a long-winded thing. So when I look at that 7 of Swords, and I can understand it because it's human nature. We're finally there. We got the vaccines. And it's almost like the virus is like, not beat me yet. So we'll have to see. We will definitely have to see. So one more, there's another America specific one. I think we've got just enough time. And it is about Texas. Yeah, Texas. Big old Texas. You know, one of the biggest states in America, and I couldn't even find it on a map once upon a time, but you know, whatever. I'll never forget that. So this question has come in from Rosie Santos. And she asks, in regards to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, will he succeed in suppressing voter rights? Great question. Yeah. And I'll just do another little shout out. So we've got, what is it? The sky is falling, someone has said. Surf Mum, Florida. Well, we'll have to see, but it's certainly a bit dodgy, isn't it? Harry's Mom, 2008. Fox weather, no fires, no hurricanes, no heat waves, just beautiful weather and snowstorms.
Because they're white.
Indeed. Oh my God, people are still talking about that one there. Shine to Shine. Time to Shine says it's usually the 50-year-olds and up who fall for Rupert's traps. But that's an interesting perspective. Is that true? You know, I think there's also a lot of young people as well that get sucked in. Did you see those far right guys that did a little march on Philadelphia the other day, and they got chased out of town? So, but there is a good point though, but these things. All right, Diane, what do you have for us?
Okay. So, you know, Abbott's just trying to persevere. This card keeps coming up tonight. And not to be mean, but sort of like a cockroach, he kind of just keeps going, right?
Yeah.
But I think the obstacle is, I think he doesn't have a lot of inner strength. I don't think he has a lot of courage. But the other meaning of this card is patience, and I think this is testing people's patience. This is frustrating. This is awful. But justice is going to win and put an end to it. So I mean, first of all, he gets out of 4 cards, 3 are major arcana, so these are really a big deal. I think even if he has some short-term success, I don't think it's going to be, very long-lived. I think the federal court will intervene, but I do think justice is coming, and it'll kill what he's trying to do.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, I get their abundance of their funding, etc., is going to get drastically cut. This is a lightning bolt. This is a lightning bolt thing that's happening, and I think that Biden or federal is going to get involved because of all the dark things that they're doing, misinformation and stuff. Above it is a worry. Below it, we have a lot of people that want to get interested in it. Going into it, they want to see this ended. I think this is the Democrats, and they're going to go out and talk and put the word out and do whatever they can to railroad this.
Yes, very interesting. So again, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 of my cards coming up are major arcana. 4. I mean, that is just something. Yeah. So here we are. What's the situation all about? So when we talk about this guy, so when we look here, what do we have? The Magician, but reversed. So here we're looking at what? Manipulation. When he's the right way up, it's about power, commanding, being able to manifest whatever you want. Here it's about backroom deals, manipulation, up to dodgy stuff, black magic almost, yeah? So what we have is an absolute schemer here. He's an absolute schemer, this guy. And he's trying to manipulate the situation, as we have seen so abundantly already. What is the obstacle? Temperance, balance. So basically, common sense is the obstacle for this guy. There is so much craziness going on in Texas right now. And I heard some people got outrageous bills. Yeah. Freezing. Do you remember that when the air conditioning fan had icicles coming off of it? Do you know what I mean? I wonder what Rupert Murdoch will be talking about that. I wonder what he's going to say about that. What caused that? Too much. Democrats drink too much frozen drinks. So now all of America is, craziness. So what's backing this? So we can see here there is a, balance is the obstacle. They don't want to be balanced in Texas. They want to carry on as they have been, just being reckless and foolish and wasting resources. These are governors that have not invested in the infrastructure. They've just been like, whatever, we're fine. I'm all right, Jack. And I can walk off this cliff because I've got wings. And, and the little dog is going, the little dog is like, you're crazy. What are you doing? Yeah? Trying to come back, please. So here we are. We're going to have some kind of move by the government here, because enough is enough. And I think it's reached the point where Texas is going to have some kind of meaningful bailout or something like that, because if they keep squandering funds, if they keep not investing, it's only a matter of time. I mean, they're used to baking heat, but this is even more now. What if the air con goes this time? This time the fan going around won't have icicles. It's going to have flames coming off of it. It's just ridiculous. So when we look here, we have the Knight. Yeah, the Knight, Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is normally an offer of some kind, putting forward some kind of offer. But here he is. He's reversed. So I could see there may be a situation where Texas gets into a pickle again, and they may refuse state aid.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Can you imagine? Because this, if we look here with these first two cards, there's quite a lot of, no, here we are. If we look at the Fool and the Magician, yeah, this can be quite an arrogant combination. Do you see? They're kind of, it's like they overestimate their power. And it's like the offer comes and they're like, nah. So there could be something coming up. I mean, it's only a matter of time. We'll have to see what winter brings. I don't know how they'll report it on Fox News, but we're in for these extremes. I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. So it's only a matter of time before there's more. Wow.
I agree. Yes.
Fascinating. Any more thoughts for anyone? We've got about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes.
We could do a wild card. How about, here we are. Let's do, now I think Diane, you've done it already, but I've not had a chance to do a reading yet. I'm not sure if you're the same as well, Lady G. But shall we do, I know it's been done a lot, but shall we do a read on Britney Spears and see what's going on with her? Because this is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So just mind-blowing.
You know, we're talking about one of the world's biggest stars has been in effect under house arrest and has compared her life to the life of a sex trafficker, of a trafficked person. So I just thought we can just have a read and just see if she's freedom. It's bonkers.
You know, I mean, as a dementia practitioner, right? So that's something that I would have done to my patients because they had no chance of getting better. They could not make any decisions on their own, and you had to keep them safe. And even sometimes then it doesn't get approved. I've seen people that live in lockdown units where it doesn't get approved. I mean, how did this happen? They don't work this way, and they're not meant to be reversed. So she's going to be in for a heck of a time. This isn't going to be easy.
Brittany, what is going on there? So, Diane, what do you have for us? What do you, I mean, maybe you'll get a similar pull again, or maybe even something slightly different.
It's slightly different, but kind of pretty much similar. You know, so I get the card of stability. You know, she was unwell at that time. You know, she clearly had a psychotic break, but people don't usually have conservatorships put into place for psychotic breaks. So I feel like she does have a lot of stability back. But, you know, for me, the Eight of Wands is also a card of speed. And with the last reading I did on this, this is going to be slow. Nothing's going to happen in 2021. You know, I think she's in this for the long haul because nobody knows what they're doing to reverse it anyways, because it's rarely ever done.
Wow.
She's just at the beginning of this. You know, the Fool is a 0, right? And he starts off on this whole Fool's journey that takes us through the rest of the deck. Wow. So she's, you know, and I'd also say to her is, you know, have faith, because the Fool does. That's his good quality. He has faith and trust. And the Strength card, you know, the other meaning to the Strength card is patience. But I think she does have the inner strength and the courage to go through this. And here she ends up, you know, the card of celebrating with friends and having joyful gatherings again and getting her life back.
Wow. Okay. Lady G, what do you have?
We have the same thing as you got. There's temporary good luck for probably her father. But we have accomplished. She's going to be accomplished when it comes to the truth and the information coming out that's being worked on. She does have those in her corner. There will be foundation. There will be a victory. But going into it at the moment, it's hung up and things are kind of blocked now. But she will eventually win, but it's going to take some time, just like what you got. Same thing.
Yeah. My cards are quite different in the sense, and it's almost like I'm seeing the heat of the battle of kind of almost like what's going on in her life right now. And if we look here, I've got the King of Cups reversed. Now, we often refer to this as the Biden card, but the King of Cups tends to deal with a creative man, doesn't it? A creative man, a benevolent man, a man who's involved in the arts in some way, but it's reversed. And when it's reversed, we're dealing with an emotionally manipulative person.
Yeah.
And I think this is Britney Spears' father.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's him. Yeah. And so I'm going to look at it from that perspective because the king has come out first. So it seems to be coming through with that male energy. What is this male like? I get the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we know we're dealing with someone here who's got emotional and mental problems. It shouldn't be Brittany that's got the conservatorship. It should be the father. Yeah.
He was in rehab right before he was granted the conservatorship.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This doesn't make sense. He was like fresh out of rehab.
Right.
Wow.
One of my students works where he was in rehab, and she said he is really a piece of work.
Right. There you are. Because like obviously I don't know much about him. I can only go by the cards. And I see someone who is mentally and emotionally not right.
Yeah.
And if I think of this in regard, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that the male energy came through. And if I look at his attitude to the whole situation, Britney Spears and everything like that, look, we've got the Knight of Swords charging forward. So there's a lot of, I would say in this context, bullying, aggression, you better do this or else kind of energy in regards to his daughter and possibly other members of his family. Because how could this be going on for 13 years? She's clearly corpus mentis, you know, her mind she's alert. She sounds like a sane person. So I think here, Jamie has just been pouring on that aggression, coming forward, almost kind of coming at Britney and the situation. But if we look, now obviously she's protested and the truth has come out. There's some decisions to be made here, but this is even more anxious, because his image, his public image has been turned upside down in a way. Yeah, because Britney has said it herself. And she said, my family should be put in jail. Yeah. So it's completely. So now I think he and the family are kind of like, oh, what do we do about this? And I think they're trying to come up with offers. But look what we have. Stinky fish. Yeah. They're trying to do stuff to try and wangle it their way. Do you know what I mean? They're coming forward with basically they're going to come forward with false messages for the reasons why the conservatorship should be maintained. So I think what you guys got was like more in the future, because I do believe Britney will be free. And I think somehow I've tuned into the dad here and the family dynamics. So,
the mother did speak out though on Britney's behalf, and so did her sister now. It's been more recent. But even because, the wife divorced him because he's such a train wreck. And the sister made a video not too long ago, too, supporting Britney. So, like, they're coming out and they're supporting her. So he's sort of all alone.
Aha!
And, you
That's
know, that
probably
Knight
why I
of
got the sword.
And the Knight of Swords with the aggression and all of that he's pushing forward, he gets a percentage of all of her performances.
Right.
So he's pushed her into doing that Vegas show, then the tour, and then being the reality a judge on the reality show, and because he gets a cut. Makes
absolute sense. He's literally been like, "Do it. You have to do it. You don't have a choice." Oh, that makes sense. Wow. Yeah. Well, the long-term future looks good for Britney, so let's hope that all goes well. We've just gone over our hour, so I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for being here with us this evening, and thank you so much for your donations and your questions and your reactions. Thoughts and prayers again for Marie. I hope you are watching this evening, Marie, but I'm sure you will catch up with us. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. Thank you so much as well to Diane and Lady G for joining me today as we host on Marie's behalf. So hopefully we'll see everyone next week. And thanks so much for supporting everything. So until next time, everyone, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye.